Grand Rising, one and all. Happy Thursday. It is September 20. Ooh, today is the 26th, 27th. What's today's date? I don't know. I thought I knew. Today is actually the 25th. So welcome. Happy Thursday. For those of you who don't know, Thursdays are ruled by Jupiter's energy. So when we talk about Jupiter, we talk about expansion. We talk about spiritual growth. We talk about spiritual evolution, evolving. And every day we're evolving. Which brings me to the topic, what is your theme for 2025? What does that actually mean? Your theme. Let me introduce myself before I dive into the conversation. And as I do, let me see if I can holler some folks in. See who's around. Considering it is a rainy time here by me. I don't know what it's doing by you, but let me see who's around and who I can holler in, gain an audience, and see what's going on. Alright, I hollered a few of you in. Some of you may pop in at this time, and you may catch this on the replay, whatever have you. If you are watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay. If you are here with me right now, chime in, say hi, and have a conversation with me. And of course, by all means, share this out if it's resonating with you. If it resonates with you, there's probably a friend or two it's going to resonate with as well. All that being said, I want to see one more person I might want to invite in. If I can find their name on my list. Boop, 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 boop. Let's take her in. I'm looking for one more person. I don't see her on my list though. Well, anyways. In any case, rather than wasting any more time, today is day 3 of my 100th day of going live. And the reason behind it, the motivation behind me coming live for the next 100 days, for one, we have less than 100 days now to 2025 coming to an end, and that we're moving into 2026. A very different vibration when we move into that energy. I just want to grab pen and paper so I can take some notes as I'm chatting with you with this energy that we're in right now. And I will be chatting with you and sharing who I am in just a minute. So I'm just writing a note here. So in case you don't know who I am, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness. And why? I serve, help, and hold space for women over 40, helping them to transform, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting. And that's the key component here, is to release the weight without dieting, emotional weight for that matter. Getting to know your story, getting to know when that story began, and getting to that place of, are you really ready to let go of the emotions that's connected to that story? Because from what I have experienced with working with clients like yourself, until you're truly ready to let go, you could talk about your story. You could write that book. You could stand on stages and talk about your journey. But until you're really ready to let go of the emotions behind your story, is when you begin to release the weight that you hold on to. It's not about dieting, and it's definitely not about walking so many steps a day. These are all what's called fitness trends, and they're fun ways to get you to do whatever it is you're going to do. But that's not what today's about. Today is really about understanding the concept of what your theme for 2025 is. And as I was saying, I am the founder of Holistic Fitness. The W in holistic is all about the whole person. You are not just your physical body. You are your thoughts. You are your emotions. You are your soul, and you are a spirit as well. So it's really important that we start engaging all of it. So this way here, we can get to the place we're looking to get to based on the journey we're here to walk through. So all that being said, my topic of the day is what is your theme for 2025? What does the word theme mean? Well, I'm going to share with you what that actually means. And you may or may not be aware that every month and every year carries a specific vibration, frequency, and has a theme to it. By now you know, because you've been following me, that September, which is the 9th month, carries that 9 energy, which is about the theme behind the 9 is letting go, decluttering, completion, endings, and transforming. That is the theme of the 9 vibration. Now, besides the fact that we're in the 9th month, which is September, it's also the universal energy year. Every year we have a specific number that gives us a theme to what collectively we are all focused on, whether we're conscious of it or not. We are all focused on ending something. We are all focused on completing a project. We are all focused on transforming. So the only way we can transform is by working on letting go of things that's not serving where we are looking to go. So if we are looking to become a millionaire, and I'm going to use this because this is what Spirit is guiding me to use, because I think it's the easiest way to understand it. If you're looking to become a millionaire and you happen to go play lotto and you actually win the lotto and now you have all this money, but yet you're still living as though you're in poverty, you're not matching that new vibe, which is sometimes the cause to why many people who do come into money aren't able to maintain the money, because they never allow their vibration, their frequency to raise to match where they're in. So they lose what it is they get. They may be able to get it, but they're not able to sustain it. So it's really important to pay attention to what it is you're looking to accomplish, and can you match that frequency? Because yes, you might be able to quote unquote manifest that thing you're looking to have, and I use quote unquote manifest because again, we part of a trend is understanding that we can manifest things. The reality of it all is everything you want, you already have. Everything you need, you already have. If you're talking about something, you already have it. It's just that it's at a higher frequency than when you are, and now the idea is to change things up. It's about decluttering things so you can match the thing that you're talking about. So you are already speaking out about a particular book you're looking to write, but you haven't written it yet. The book is already written for you. You've done that already. Now it's just a matter of doing the footsteps to complete the project. Hello there, Verna. How are you, my love? Verna, do you know what theme you're in for 2025? And what I mean, I'm going to talk about that on a personal level, because we're talking right now collectively, we're in a 9 energy year. And we are in a 9 energy month as we speak. We have a few days left to September, and then we're going to be moving into October, which carries theoretically a 10 vibration. Now, when we speak about numerology, in numerology, according to numerology, numbers go from 1 to 9. So when we start hitting double-digit numbers, we start reducing those numbers to a single digit, besides for 3 numbers, and those are master numbers. And we'll get into that later if need be. So when we think about moving into October, the October vibration, which carries that 10, which is a 1 and 0, that's going to give us 2 different themes. That's going to combine together. The 1 is about October being a new month, a new beginning, a new way of doing something. So we theoretically are already starting energetically to move into our new cycle, which when we talk about that 9 energy, universal energy year, that's what that's about. We are ending a 9-year cycle. So whatever you've been doing for the last 9 years, that's coming to an end. Assuming you're doing the work. If you've done the work to complete what's called your karmic cycles. And how do you know you're in a karmic cycle? Is when something shows up again, and you see it and say, oh, this is here again, so you're repeating something. And repeating something doesn't necessarily mean that, oh my God, I have to do this all over again. Sometimes a cycle will show up because it's something that you have to finish. It's unfinished business. And a little bit about our planets, before I talk more about October. When we talk about Saturn, which is a planet of karmic cycles, it's a planet of karmic completion, and right now we have Saturn that has just retrograded back into Pisces, helping us to bring things more back into flow. So anything that we have not completed in our 9-year cycle, going back to 9 years ago, to current date, what is it that's unfinished? What strings are sort of hanging? If you're into crocheting, you know that you have to, when the project is done, you have to put a ending to it. You have to put a knot so it doesn't fall apart. So it's the same concept. If there's something going on in your life that you have not finished, that's called unfinished business. And that's this 9-year energy we're in right now, completing a cycle. Now Saturn will be in Pisces right through, and I'm trying to find my notes for this. I always wish I can come in more prepared, but I just never know what I'm going to talk about because I never pre-plan the topics. They show up, and then I talk about them. Here we go. So here's some math for you, something to write down, and then we're going to continue on with October. When we talk about Saturn's energy, the planet of karmic cycles, it's also about your foundation, which your foundation could be your home, could be your business, and it's definitely your body. And it's also about restructuring. So something's being restructured, which is your foundation. Your foundation is being restructured. Something is changing. Now, for most of us, and I speak to a lot of people in the course of my week, most of us are seeing that restructuring taking place in our career. That what you thought your career was going to look like, it's looking different. And rightfully so, because again, how can I explain this so you can really understand it? The vibration you were at 9 years ago and the vibration you're at now is different. And because that's different, how you do your business is going to be different. And I can speak firsthand because I've gone through a lot of transitions with my business. When I first started my business back in 1999, when I started seeing clients in a basement apartment, and then in 2000 I expanded that business and moved into a different apartment for my business. And then in 2001 I expanded my business some more and moved into a storefront. And for 22 years I had that storefront. And within that 22-year cycle of having the storefront, my business undergone a transition. Whereas when I first started my business, I started based on the physical aspects of things as a personal trainer. When working with women, and I also work with men, it was all about the physical. It was all about getting on a scale, making sure you weighed what you weighed, making sure you were reaching your goal weight, making sure your waistline was at a certain number. It was all physical. It was only about the physical. I was not working with my clients back then on the whole person. It's only until about 2006, 2007 when I started transitioning my business based on different personal events that I went through that was changing and weaning me into a different direction in regards to how I did business. And because of that, in that energy point, that's where my business started undergoing a restructure. And since then, my business has restructured in more ways than I can count, from having a storefront for 22 years to now working virtually, no storefront, and meeting people all over the world and working with people all over the world, and now blending the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the spirit, and your soul, all under one umbrella. Which is why my business is called Holistic with a W. So understanding this concept of Saturn's energy, whereas back in March 7th of 2023, when Saturn was in Pisces, right up until May 24th of 2025, which is when Saturn moved into Aries. So we had a small dosage of what Saturn would look like in Aries. So we already know that Saturn being in Pisces is about bringing things into flow. When Saturn moved into Aries, what that's about is about restructuring your I am statement. Who are you? Who do you serve? How are you serving? The three basic questions that so many of us are asking ourselves in regards to what am I doing? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And that runs into that theme energy that I'm speaking about. Understanding what your purpose is, understanding your theme, your personal theme, and understanding the collective theme. And as I said earlier, every month has a specific theme. Just as we are in September, the 9th month, it's all about endings, completions, transformations, decluttering what we no longer need. Just because you have clothes in your closet that still fit you, doesn't mean it fits your energy. So if the clothes doesn't fit your energy anymore, it may be a good time to get rid of those clothes, to declutter the clothes out, so you're not just keeping things to hold space. Because when you hold on to things and you're not using them, that creates a stagnation. And that creates a stagnation not just with your clothes, but there's an energetic stagnation, which then means you start to feel stuck because there's something you're not using. And it could be your clothes. It could be you're holding on to old ideas, old beliefs, old philosophies that need to be decluttered out because you are a different version of yourself. For those of you who've written a book, the concept of when you write that very first book, and then maybe there's a part 2 to that very first book and you go and write your part 2, but you go and read your part 1 and you realize like, wow, how much you have evolved since writing your part 1. You are no longer that version of yourself from part 1 anymore because you evolved. And let me explain something to you if you're not aware. You can never go back. You can't go back to that old version of you. You can't say, you know what, it was working better in that vibration, so let me go back. It doesn't work that way. Even if you try to purposely stay stuck where you are, feeling stuck is going to be uncomfortable. Because in theory, we're meant to evolve. We're meant to change. We're meant to transform and move into a different frequency. Because there's so many different agreements that we have that we're here to fulfill. Which is why, again, when we talk about the karmic cycles, why things start to repeat themselves, because we need to fulfill them. So when we talk about the Saturn's energy, again, May 24th to 25, Saturn entered Aries. And gave us a small introduction to what Saturn in Aries is going to be like in reference to who am I? Restructuring your I am statement. Now Saturn in Aries as of May 24th to September 1st of 2025, when Saturn returned back into Pisces in its retrograde. Saturn will go direct very soon. When I use the word very soon, I don't mean tomorrow. But we'll go direct. See if I can find it very quickly. Very quickly. I believe it goes direct in November. Let's see. When does it go direct? Is it in November? It might be December. It might be at the end of the year. No, it's actually November. Towards the end of November. On November 27th, Saturn will go direct. And then we'll move forward back to Aries again. And then we're going to be with Saturn in Aries for the next 2.5 years, helping us to discover what our I am statement is. So in that period of time, as Saturn is in Aries, you'll be exploring what your I am statement is, working through the frequencies. So coming back into our themes, like I was speaking on, and that as we're getting ready to move into October, and we already know that September carries that 9 vibration. October carries the 10 vibration, and in theory, it's a 1 vibration. So blending the two together, the 10 vibration is about your soul's work. What is your soul's work? Now, when I use the word soul's work, it means it's something that's filling up your soul. So if you have a 9-to-5 job, and it's filling up your soul, your 9-to-5 job is your soul's work, at least for now. Eventually, that 9-to-5 is not going to be your soul's work, because eventually what you're in your 9-to-5 for is to gain tools to help you navigate into your soul's work. Understand that. And I'm speaking more to the younger generation, and I really don't think the younger generation is going to have a challenging time with this, because I believe the younger generation has more insight about their soul's work than those of us in my generation, where we have to do a lot of work to get here to the understanding that we have a soul's purpose, which is our soul's work. And as we move into October, October is going to show us, present to us this energy. Now, in addition to October carrying that 10 energy, it also carries the 1 energy, which is about new beginnings. Now, here's another thing I want you to pay attention to. When we talk about October and its theme about soul's work and your new beginning, October is an introduction for the year to come, for this year to come, for this year to come. Because as of 2026, as I said before, we move into a 1 energy year. So for the entire year of 2026, we are going to be in that 1 vibration. It's also 10. So again, it carries those 2 numbers. So the entire year, we are going to be focusing on our soul's work, our purpose. Now, here is where it becomes personal for you. As I ask, what is your theme? What is your theme? Now, what I mean by that is, what is your personal energy year number? What is your personal energy year number? Now, if you're not sure how to figure out what your personal energy year number is, you're going to do it this way. You're going to take your month that you're born, the date you're born on, and the current year. Add those numbers up. So for me, I'm born in March, so it's a 3. I'm born on the 4th day, so it's 4. So I'm taking 3 plus 4, and I'm taking 2025 and adding that number together. So 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, and that's going to give me 16, which is then going to give me my 7. So I am in a personal energy year of 7. Hello there, Rosella. Oh, Rosella, you're in your personal energy year of 7 as well. So 7, for those of us who are in our personal energy year of 7, our theme for this entire year is about our spiritual journey. It's about exploring. It's about discovering. It's about quieting ourselves down so we can go within to discover what it is we need to learn about ourselves at a higher frequency. Because again, we are getting ready to move into a different vibration. And we do not want to go into the new year holding on to the same theme from the previous year. So again, that's 7 for those of you who have 7, such as Rosella and myself. It's about the seeker, the explorer, someone who's looking to discover. It's also about your relationships, your intimate relationships. So an intimate relationship could be your best friend. It could be your spouse. Your intimate relationship with God. It's all about intimacy. It's also about your agreements. What agreements do you have with the different people you're connecting with? What agreements are you noticing coming to an end? Because again, in the 9 universal energy year, you may notice that some agreements are ending. Because you're going to be entering a new 9-year cycle, and some of those agreements don't go into your new 9-year cycle. So you may find that you're choosing to walk away from an agreement because it's done, and that you're going to start a new agreement with somebody else. So when we think about that 7, this is for the 7s. This is not for everybody. This is for those who are 7s. So don't confuse it. So for us 7s, because it's about agreements, it's recognizing that there's certain agreements that are finished. And now we're ready to move on to open space so we can bring in new agreements. So paying attention to what new people are entering your life, especially in the month of September. Because again, as the 9th month, where we're in the space of endings, we start to bring in new. So you may find yourself going to new places. You may find yourself meeting new friends, new people, new workers, new co-workers, new people you're going to do partnerships with. That's the 7 energy. It's definitely about quieting yourself down so you can sit in prayer and meditation and become more attuned to who you are. So that's the 7. So again, if you're interested in regards to you're not sure how to find your personal energy, your number, again, you're going to take your month that you're born, the date you're born on, and the current year. And whatever that number is, if it is a double digit, as long as it's not 11, 22, or 33, which are master numbers, you're going to take those 2 numbers and add them and get a single digit. So when we think about the theme that we're in, now, because I do have Rosella here with me, and I don't know if Verna is still here. If you are here with me, let me know what your personal energy year number is, and then I will share with you some insight about that personal energy year number, as opposed to just running through all the numbers. So if you're here with me now, and you want to make yourself known that you're here, again, your month plus the date you're born plus current year. Add those numbers, write that number in the comments, and I will give you some insight to what that number means. Now, for those of you who are following this on the replay, you sort of missed the boat. That's why it's so important to come and join me live so you can get all this information when we're live, as opposed to hoping I'm going to respond to your comments after the fact. I may or may not, depending on my day. So anyway, as we begin to move into the new year, into 2026, which 2026 we already know carries the 1 or 10 vibration, which is about a new beginning. What that means for us who carry the 7 vibration, we're going to be moving into an 8 energy. Our energy for 2026 is an 8. Now what the 8 carries, the meanings to the 8 is inheritance. What did you inherit? Now when I speak of inheritance, it's not just about money or property. You could have inherited a spiritual gift. You could have inherited weight gain. Maybe you have a family member that carries extra weight and you're prone to that. So pay attention to what it is you have inherited. Maybe you inherited your mom's or dad's hair color. Maybe you inherited your mom's or dad's personality. Inheritance is not just about money or property. It's about a whole bunch of other things as well. In addition to that 8 energy, it's also about abundance. It's about a transformation. So again, once again, here we are. Those of us in our 8 energy for 2026 will be going through a transformation. We are transforming, once again, in this new year. We're going to transform the way we do our business. We are going to transform our connections. Now, when we think about our personal energy themes, what your personal energy theme is. One other thing I want you to pay attention to when we're talking about numerology and astrology, and I like to blend them together, and I didn't talk about this during the 7 for the personal energy year number. I'll talk about it for the 8, or maybe I will talk about it for the 7, since we still have a few months left before 2025 is over. When we talk about that 7 energy based on the astrology aspects of things, the 7 is associated with with Libra. It's associated with Libra. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So again, when we talk about the 7, those of us who have our 7 personal energy year, it is about balance. It is about justifying balance. How we justify where we want balance in our lives. Venus, the relationships we have with ourselves. Do we value ourselves enough to bring more balance into our energy? That's the 7 energy. So again, as we move into October, the theme for October is about doing something new. It's a new beginning. It's also about your soul's work. Now, bridging your soul's work and Venus, that 7 vibration, are you valuing yourself enough to give yourself time to bring balance into your life so you can have time to take care of you? That's the self-worth. I'm hearing advocating. So advocating for yourself to have more balance in your life so you can take care of you. That's that 7 energy. So paying attention to this theme that we move into as we move into October. What is your theme? So now, let me backtrack this for just a moment so you can better understand. The theme you have for September, which is about letting things go, decluttering, transforming, in the 9 universal energy, which was very powerful because it carries the same energy of the universal energy. As we move into October, your theme's going to change. Your thought process is going to change. You're not going to be thinking about the process of decluttering as much. Although the universal energy, collectively, we are still focused on that because that's just the energy of the universal process. We are still in that process of decluttering, universally speaking. And what can we do to declutter so we can bring in new? Now here's a feng shui fun play thing you can do. I was going to say a feng shui hack is what you could do to experiment, to see how this works, because it really is, I like to say it's like magic, so to speak. If you're up for the challenge, and this is everybody, this is not just those who have their 7 personal energy year number, this is everybody. For the next 30 days, which means from if you want to start today, you can. It's only going on noon. So from today, September 25th, to October 25th, the next 30 days, and what you could actually do is start this tomorrow so you can think about it today. Plan this out. Today, I want you to think about in your home, what's one room that you can move 30, we'll make it even easier rather than 30 things because that's a lot of things. 9, there you go, easy peasy. Move 9 things in one room. Move 9 things out of that room. So that either means 1 or 2 things are going to happen. You're going to end up moving something out of that room and putting it into a different room, or you're going to move that thing out of the room and move it out of your house because you're going to get rid of it. 9 things. You'll have 30 days to do this. So you could do something every single day for 30 days. You may end up doing this in one day, 9 things, getting rid of 9 things. It could be you go into your closet and you remove 9 items of clothing. There's your 9 things. My suggestion is work on something bigger. Not just clothing. I mean, if you're going to get rid of clothing, I'm going to make this more challenging for you. Clothing, no matter how many articles it is, acts as one item. Acts as one item. If you fill up 1 box of clothing, then that's 1 item. 2 boxes of clothing, there's your 2 items. 3 boxes, you get the drift by now. So you have to move 9 items out of 1 room. And that means you can either declutter it when you get it out of your house, or you may want to move those items into a different room. Now the key of it is that those items are not allowed to go back into that room again. So if for whatever the reasons are, you end up doing this challenge again and you choose a different room, the item you moved already cannot be put back into the room you took it from. That means eventually that item is going to probably find its way out the door. So think of it this way. And after your 30 days of doing this, and it's probably not going to take you 30 days to move 9 items. So we'll say, give and take, 15 days later, the next 15 days, I want you to pay attention to what happens after you've moved those 9 things out of that room. Because something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Now, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen because I don't want to plant that seed for you. I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention. Now, I've done a lot of studies and work with Feng Shui. I worked with, 3 amazing Feng Shui mentors that I've had back in 2002 right to about 2004, 2005. And one can say that, yes, I am a Feng Shui consultant. I don't do it as a practice. I don't do it as a service, but I do offer fun things like this into my service. I don't offer it as a service. With that being said. Anyway, so yes, 9 things out of 1 room, moving it out of that room. And like I said, if you decide that you're going to do this with another room, that thing cannot go back into the original room it was in. It has to leave the house. Has to leave the house. And then, like I said, this should not take you more than 15 days to do. So I'm giving you a little grace where you don't have to do 9 things in one day. You can do a little bit at a time because I know you have other things going on. After the 15th day, pay attention to the next 15 days to see what unfolds after you've moved those 9 things out of the room. And see what happens. And I would love to hear your story, so I would love for you to get back to me with what's going on. What's going on? What's happening? What took place? What took place? And this is whatever room you want. So if you want to start in your kitchen and see if you can remove 9 things out of your kitchen, move 9 things out of your kitchen. But remember, whatever you move out of that space cannot come back into that space. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Perfect. I would love to hear what unfolds for you after the 30 days, Rosella. So anyway, going back to our theme, and then I'm gonna have to come to an ending because I have other things I need to do, and I can sit here and talk all day to you. So when we talk about our theme, what is your theme for 2025? You want to add up your month, the date that you're born, and the current year. So 2025 gets added to that. That is going to give you your personal energy, your number, and that number is going to give you your theme. Now, like I said, if you're here with me right now, you can put that number in the comments, and I can give you some insight to what that theme means. However, I'm not going to run through all of the numbers. In any case, you're welcome. Another thing I want you to pay attention to, when we talk about our personal energy year number, that's the number we have every year. It changes every year. And as I said, every month carries its own theme. So with every month, now that we're moving out of September, we're moving into October. October carries its own theme based on your personal energy year number. So it's important now to start paying attention to, with October being that 1 and 10 energy, new things coming in with your soul's work, and whatever your personal energy your number is, play with that theme. So new things can come through for you, because you're no longer going to hold on to the September's energy. We're moving into October. When we think about November, November carries the 11 vibration. So in theory, the 11 vibration is a master number. The entire month of November is about mastery. You're going to be mastering in something. You're going to be mastering. So the number 11 carries the higher frequency because it's the master healer, master teacher. You're going to be teaching. You're going to be learning. It carries the same meaning of the number 2. 2 is about partnerships and relationships, friendships, personally and professionally. So the month of November is about mastering those relationships, whether it's personal or professional. And whatever your theme is. So again, for those of us who have our 7s, for the month of November, it really is going to be about reviewing the agreements with those relationships, with those partnerships, and mastering. What relationships are you in that's helping you to become the master? What relationships you're in that's keeping you stuck? What relationships are you in that's draining your energy? That's the 11 vibration that you're going to get to experience when we move into November. At a higher energy. The entire month of November is about mastery. Then we move into December. December carries that 12 energy. And before I break it down to a single digit, the 12 is very important. The 12 is a portal number because it carries the 1 and the 2. The 1 is a reminder that you are a leader and you're here to be independent. The 2 is a reminder that you have partnerships. You have people you are working with. Whether you are the leader of those people or they're leading you, there's a partnership. The vibration for December is 3. 3 is about how we are communicating as the leader and how we are communicating in our partnerships. And partnership is not just professional, it's our personal partnerships too. The 3 is all about communication. The 3 is all about how we network. So December, and interesting that it is, December is a month of holiday. So we are networking, we are socializing, we are communicating. And that's the theme for December. So again, for those of us who carry the 7 energy, our energy for the month of December is really going to be with that Venus energy about socializing and bringing more balance into those relationships and asking yourself, do I really want to entertain this relationship? Even though the entire month's about relationship and networking and socializing, again, bringing that balance, valuing yourself enough to say, I don't really want to be around this particular group of people. They don't serve me. They're not raising my vibration. So I'm going to let this go because we're still in the 9 universal energy year. So we're still working on letting things go. And in the very last month, we may see that, this community doesn't serve me. This group of people doesn't serve me. So we let go of them. And this is for those who carry the 7 energy year. And again, for those who are coming in at the very end, how you will find your personal energy, your number is based on the month you're born, the date you're born on, and the current year. Add those numbers together. Should you get a double digit, besides for 11, 22, or 33, you're going to take these numbers and reduce it to a single digit by adding them up. So if you get 23, you're going to get a 5. If you get 27, you're going to get a 9. If you get 34, you're going to get a 7. If you get 20, you're going to get a 2. You get the idea by now. So you just add in those numbers up so you know what your personal energy, your number is. And if you're here with me right now, do the math. Put the number in the comments, and I'll give you a few minutes and I'll give you the theme to your personal energy, your number for 2025. And maybe I will come back at a different time, maybe use my day 4 to talk to you about your life path number, because your life path number and your personal energy, your number, are two totally separate things. And I don't want you to get confused with them. So, here we have it. Let me pull a card for you. So again, just to recap, what is your theme for 2025? Meaning, what is your personal energy, your number for 2025? We are now here in September. You can go back and review the last 9 months of your life based on your theme. Have you been following the theme? Have you been noticing the different changes? Have you been noticing that you are letting things go? You are completing a project. You are ending something. You are removing people, places, and things from your life, or the universe is removing people, places, and things from your life. Maybe you are being removed from people, places, and things because you are meant to move into a different direction. There's an interesting expression I've heard, and it took me a really, really long time to understand it. When God removes you from a place, a location, a community, don't try to go back to it. There's a reason why God took you away from it. That same philosophy goes with your job. So if you've been laid off from a job, so let's say you're in retail and you've been laid off from that job, the idea is not to go back and apply for another retail job. You've been laid off from that. It's time to move into a different direction. Now, I've heard this from Steve Harvey. I was watching a show that he had, I forget what year, and he was talking about the process of jumping. Taking the leap of faith and just jumping. So, many people have this habit that when they lose a job, they see it as the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And for one, you often aren't paying attention to the red flags that show up way before the moment of time you lost that job. You've chosen not to pay attention to the red flags. And those red flags show up probably about a year before you lose your job. The word loss is not the greatest word. You're being released from that job because that job no longer serves you. It served you at one point or another, but now there is no more growing space. You have literally reached the top of the ladder and you cannot go any higher in that job. So now the only thing you can do at that point in time is jump off the ladder, which is taking the leap of faith. And the idea of it is recognizing that if you have been laid off from a job, whatever the industry is, retail, oh my God, what are the other ones? Retail is the big one. That's usually where most people get laid off from. Retail is a big industry. So if you've been laid off from retail, it means that that door is closed. Why are you continuing to apply to a retail position? What will happen by applying to a retail position is that you will not be validated based on what you're really worth. They will, whoever it is that's hiring you, is going to hire you for a lower price, not for what you are worthy of. And then it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to degrade yourself to take on that job. Most people who do is because they're in fear. They're in fear of, oh my God, if I don't have a job, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to survive? Well, that's where faith plays a big role. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, plays a big role When you can lean onto faith and trust that God has your back, and God did not close that door without having something else prepared for you for the next door to open. The only way that next door can open is if you let go and let that other door close. Otherwise, you cannot have two doors open at the same time. And that's this 9 universal energy that we're in. We have to let it go. We have to close the door so that new door can get prepared to open. So if I am speaking to you and you are that person right now that is struggling with the idea of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? If you are thinking about the process of wanting to leave your job, but you're holding on to it because you haven't found a new job yet, let that job go. Because the minute you let that job go, and literally in your mind let that job go, you will begin to see things happening. Now again, going back to my feng shui game that I invited you to play, move those 9 pieces and see what happens. The one thing we need to do as humans is we really need to learn how to move into a space of trust and faith. So many of us have lost trust and faith. Many people quote the Bible, and those very same people who's quoting the Bible are sitting there not trusting in faith. And we need to learn how to come back to that, because everything that you need, you have. And if you're in a position right now where you're not happy at the job that you're in, whether it's because the travel is too much or the people you work with are too much or whatever the excuse is, maybe the pay is not enough, whatever it is, that is a sign from God that you are not in alignment to that job anymore. And that it's time to go. And I know if you sit there and you talk to friends and family and they're going to say to you, you're crazy if you walk away from the job and you don't have anything else to jump into. You're not crazy. That's called taking the leap of faith and knowing that you are being supported. Because then you'll have a story, a testimony to share with all those people who doubted you and more importantly doubted God because you took a leap of faith. And yes, maybe you will be without work for a few weeks, a month or 2. There's a reason for that. And that reason may very well be about resetting your energy, to rejuvenate, to let go of all the heebie-jeebies that you held on to from holding on to a job for too long. So sometimes having that time off gives you time to reset, rejuvenate, and prepare for that next chapter. How many of you take vacations? Because you're taking a vacation away because you just need to get away. You need time off. You need to get away from the people, your job, whatever. Well, think of it as when you are being laid off from that job, you're being given a vacation. You're being given a vacation to reset, rejuvenate, and prepare for what's to come. Now, do not mistake my information with sit on your behind and do nothing. That is not what I'm saying at all. Ideally, you want to do the work. Pay attention to your scene. Pay attention to what scene you're in and what the universal energy is. And play into that. Do what you need to do. Put yourself out there. Rest, rejuvenate, reset, and prepare for that new opportunity to open up because it's coming. All right. 2 cards fell out, and I usually don't read 2 cards in one sitting, but I'm going to. It's so interesting on the other card that's showing up too. So the first card that I have, which happens to be in reverse. Reverse cards means that there's resistance. And rightfully so, the message here is patience. Sometimes we lack patience. Sometimes we want things to happen yesterday because we're thinking everything's supposed to happen in our timing. And the reality of it all is things happen in divine timing. Divine timing. We are moving out of a 9 energy year, which means letting go of the old, making room for the new. So whatever is about to come through in the new is going to come through in the new. We have to let go of the 9. The green is all about the matters of your heart. What is heavy in your heart? and what is bringing you joy. Work on releasing the heaviness in your heart and focus on your joy. The 4 is all about the balance. 4 is about balance. 4 is about being more in harmony. 4 is about being more at home with yourself, with whatever it is you need to be doing. 4 is about the energy of the moon. The moon cycles. 4 is Cancerian energy. 4 is all about taking care and nourishing yourself. 4 is balance. So think about it. What is throwing you off balance in this 9 energy year? If it's throwing you off balance, it means it may no longer be aligned with you, which means it's time to let it go, so you can have more balance back into your life. So that's the first card. Second card, which is so interesting, career change. Isn't that what we're talking about, people? I love it when the cards just give it what it is. The number 7. We were just talking about the number 7 based on the personal energy year that I have, and some who are following have as well. The 7 on the overall, what that means, it really is about the Venus energy. It's about valuing yourself enough to know when to walk away from a career that no longer serves you. Taking this time now in the 9 energy year to evaluate, if you have a business, are you charging a price that honors your worth? So many of us, and I can throw myself in there, charge a price, a low price, because we are afraid to raise our rates, because we're afraid that people will not purchase what it is we're selling at the higher rate. Believe me when I tell you, those who value what it is those who value your service are going to pay the higher price because they value you. So it's really important to step more into that Venus energy. And right now, Venus is in Virgo, which is about being in service. And it's evaluating. It's helping you to evaluate your self-worth. And that's very much about a career change. So if the job you have is not valuing you and helping you to get a raise or giving you a promotion, it's time to walk away from that 9 to 5. Maybe you're at the toppest layer in that job and there's no other promotion to go. It's time to leave. Very simple. That is the rule of thumb when it comes to jobs. You climb the ladder to the point where you can't climb anymore. And once you no longer can climb, that is an indication, that's an invitation that it's time to leave that job and move, take everything you learned from that job and go find a different job in a different field. Maybe it's about managing your own store. Maybe it's about opening up your own business. Expansion. When we think about the number 7, it is really about the agreements that you do have. So value, self-value. Do an examination, an assessment. Are you valuing yourself enough where your services are mirroring how you value yourself? Are you valuing yourself enough so you can find time to take care of yourself? Through movement, through nutrition, through hydration, through rest, through sleep, through meditation, through prayer. That's the 7. The color indigo. This is allowing you to see beyond what your imagination can see. This is your bigger vision. So we take out 7 and we take out 4. Gives us our 11, which we spoke about that too, is the mastery. Now I want to show you the card that happens to be faced up. I just have to. If it wasn't this card, I wouldn't be showing it. It's faith, and we spoke about that as well. 56 is 11. It's remembering to have faith, mastering your faith. So trust the process. So if you are being guided to walk away from a job because it either is no longer aligned with you, you're not being paid what you want to be paid, you're not being recognized for the work that you do, whatever the reasons are, that's your invitation to have faith and walk away from that job. You do not need to have another job to do this. That other job will open up for you. And maybe not a job. Maybe it really is time to start thinking about What is it that you love to do, and how can you apply that as your soul's work? Because after all, when we think about moving into 2026, that is what it's about, your soul's work. Okay. All that being said, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you found this to be enlightening. I hope something resonated with you. Go ahead and add up what your personal theme number is for this year, with your month, your birth date, and the year itself, and see what that number is. And continue to follow me, share this out, let people know about this. Again, this is day 3. Yeah, day 3 of my 100 days of going live. Going live so you can learn more about who I am, what I am, who I serve, what pain points I help you with as your holistic personal trainer, blending many spiritual practices into my practice, such as Reiki Talk Therapy, to help clear the energy and to give you a space so you can talk about whatever it is that's on your mind that could be the reason why your energy is feeling stuck. That's what Reiki Talk Therapy is about. If you're not familiar with Reiki Talk Therapy, reach out to me. I would love to offer you a complimentary mini session just to give you an idea what it's all about and help you move some energy. In addition, as you already know, I blend astrology and numerology. I believe those two modalities are siblings to each other. They are the roadmap, they are your navigation system to helping you better understand where you are in the current moment. And it gives you insight to discovering who you are from a soul level. Whether or not you are aware or you believe or you think it's woo-woo, the reality of it all is your navigation system. And it will help you once you better understand it. In addition to the astrology, numerology, and Reiki, I do so many other amazing spiritual gifts that I do offer. But for right now, as your holistic personal trainer, I do blend it all together. So you are not just working on your physical body, you are working on the whole person that you are, so you can transform within and feel confident in your own skin. So you can feel strong enough, confident enough, and courageous enough to step into your soul's calling. Enjoy the rest of your day until I see you on the other side.